Boom, 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 dun, 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 ba-dun, dun, dun, do, 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 do. Remember, do, do, days when we never had a dime, and our dreams seemed a million miles away. Do, 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 do. But we made it, baby, facing the bad times with a smile. Here we are, and we're growing stronger day by day, 'cause we've got love times love. There's always there for us to share, and girl, it sure feels good to know you're by my side, 'cause we're just two hearts that beat as one, forever young, and oh, it sure feels good to keep things satisfied every night. Ba-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Hey guys, Silver 5150 here. I'm smiling while I'm trying to finish the dang song. I love that song. Didn't do a very good job at it, but George Benson, he won't mind too much. George Benson, great jazz guitarist, is also a pretty good vocalist, is a tenor, which is why I can't hit a lot of his notes. But I tried. But you know what that means? That means you guys are paid up. No sponsors today, but you guys already paid it forward. You paid up, you listened to the jam, and so you are free to roam about the Silver 5150 country. All right? We're going to get into some coins today. We're going to get into the markets today. We're going to see what happened and see how to read the action to try to figure out where to go next with silver. All right, speaking of silver, here's some usual suspects. Prospector round from Provident Metals. Very excellent series. The Prospector series goes into the Gunslinger, goes into the Bartender, the Blacksmith. I think the Can Girl, she's got her own coin. And if you can get these coins, in secondary market, please try to do that because they're limited. They didn't say what the mintage was, but they're very collectible, even though they're not, they're matte finish, but they're pretty cool. Golden State Mint Buffaloes, the old standby. You just can't go wrong with Buffalo. You'll never have a problem selling it, and you'll never go broke if you got them. Ohio Precious Metals, standard round from the house brand. Got these in a secondary market from JM Bullion. So very cool snag when you go and you get like a lot of stuff in the secondary market, random rounds. You never know what you're going to get. Up next is Elemental. Elemental mint, they used to mint these things. I don't think they're still in business anymore, but they're pretty cool. Elemental rounds. And of course they have AG Silver, periodic table, information up on it, which is that's it right there. That's really all you need to know. And I'm pretty sure it says 1 troy ounce there somewhere. But anyway, on to coins. We've got the Rhino, Chad Rhino, okay? And this right here, guys, if you hadn't guessed, this one's scruffy. It is. It's scruffy. Remember I told you I bought 2 that were in perfect condition, according to APMEX, and then they had a bunch of scruffy ones marked down to like $17 back, when you had those prices. So I grabbed like 30 of them. That's all the cash I had, and I grabbed like 30 of them. And this is 2 of the scruffy ones. So you know what? Would you turn me down for this coin? Be like, I'm gonna sell my scruffy Rhino for $25. Would you buy it? And of course I wouldn't do that because I don't sell silver. But yes, I'm sure you would not turn this down because I think the retail ones right now, if you want to get a scruffy retail one, it's like $30. Okay. Up next, 2018 Darth Vader. About to break into the Rebel compound and extract some answers for wherever the next ice station is. You know how he operates. Not many friends, Darth Vader, but doesn't need them because he's got the Force. And last but not least, the Moose, Canadian Moose coin. Okay, they make a gold one that's just absolute boss, but this is not bad. 2014 Moose from the Royal Canadian Mint. I'm sure that Teenage Stacker probably has some of these because he loves the Royal Canadian Mint. All right, unlike Expat Stacker, who loves the Perth Mint. Okay. And that would be some of this newy. Anyway, okay, guys, so look here. Enough jamming around in the coins. We will continue to look at them. But, question, what happened in the markets today? Well, stocks were up about 0.5%, while gold was down about 1%. to 1732. Silver got really smacked down today, which we enjoyed. I hope you guys were able to take advantage of some of those specials today. The 10th ounce silver and the 2.5 gram gold. Those are really good fractional staples, and at those prices today, those were some throwback prices on that. Not so much on the gold, but on the silver for sure, because those 1/10 ounces, and I hope there was a truck ton of them so everybody could get what they wanted if they wanted to get some today. Yeah, that was a pretty good throwback price. I only paid probably 20 cents less a coin, if that, probably 10 cents less a coin than that. So you guys got a real good deal on that. I couldn't get in on it because I spent all my money on those fancy coins last week, and I have to stay disciplined. All right, and let's see what else happened today. Oh gosh, Bitcoin. Did you see Bitcoin today? Bitcoin was doing so good this morning. It was up over 10,000, almost past 10,500. I guess it must have hit some resistance because it kind of pooped the bed later today, about 7:45 Pacific Standard Time this morning, and it took its little brothers and sisters with it. Now, Litecoin and Ethereum and Tether and some of those other guys, they didn't fall as far, but I mean, they got hit, for at least 2 or 3 or 4%, whereas Bitcoin, I think, actually fell about 9% at one point and then recovered some of those losses later. All right, so let's see. What else happened today? Oh, yeah, the euro was up about 30 basis points to euro, right, while the dollar was down about 12. And why is this important? Because the euro and the dollar, they run adverse of each other. Okay, let me back up. To show you what a perverse market the Forex market is, the dollar index, or the dollar, the DXY, the USD, whatever you want to call it, the dollar index on the markets actually has the euro in it because it's a basket of currencies that make up the dollar index, because the dollar is the world's reserve currency. So and even though it's got the euro in it, it is considered the reverse of the euro. So if the euro is going up, that means that everything valued in dollars is going up, because that means the dollar is weaker. I hope that made sense. So let's just go over it a couple more times. The dollar is down to, say, 97 basis points. That means that it takes more dollars to buy the same things as when the dollar was at 100, okay? So that makes the price of that item look higher because it's taking more dollars to buy it. We'll go back over that again in a minute. Okay, anyway, so enough about cryptos. Let's talk about the bond market today. All right, in the bond market, the 10-year bond was up about 3.5% to 684 basis points, okay? Which is not a lot. I mean, the 10-year bond, it used to be, in the 70s and 80s, it was up in the teens. So we're talking about 0.684 basis points. That's not even 1 point. The 10-year bond is. And why is the 10-year bond, why am I choosing that one over the 30-year, the 2-year, the 5-year, 7-year, what have you, is because the 10-year bond is pretty much the singular heavyweight that determines the interest rates for damn near everything else. Credit cards, student loans, home loans, mortgages, auto loans, fixed debt of all kinds, they work from the 10-year bond in this position to decide what those interest rates are going to be. So the 10-year bond, it's down, but it's doing, what it's supposed to be doing, but you can't buy anything with that interest rate. You can't get a 10-year home loan at 0.99% interest. You can't do that because banks aren't allowing it. Even though we have these interest rates that are almost to the floor, which in real world terms, inflation-wise, would be considered negative interest rates, you can't find any institution that's going to finance you that low. They're going to make some money off it, and the best you'll probably be able to do is 2.99% on anything, and that includes a home. All right, and then rent. Yeah, rent, of course, you're going to be free. It's that's not going to be influenced by the 10-year note. All right, so why am I telling you guys all these different asset classes? Why am I telling you all their info and stuff? And why? When this is the Silver 5150 channel. It's the Silver 5150 channel, man. You're supposed to be telling us about silver. Well, I'm actually telling you about silver because all these markets are supposed to work together. All right, they're all supposed to tell you about silver saving, investing, and insuring. They're all supposed to be working together. That's right. In a free market. Sorry. Let me back up. Yes. They are supposed to work together in a free market. The problem is we don't have a free market, right? All we have now is what amounts to nothing more than a scrambled global asset system. And what scrambled them, you say? Well, we could talk derivatives. I think I've talked about them before. And derivatives are just facsimiles of the underlying asset. So if Apple has a stock, all right, and somebody decides that they want to copy some paper and draw some apples on it and then say, hey, this is an Apple stock because I declared it so, even though it's not like the real stocks, it is a derivative of that stock, therefore it is a financial instrument. That makes sense? That's what they do with gold and silver. They have these coins right here. Okay, I went and made copies of this picture of Darth Vader and the Queen, and I have all of these copies. I have like 1,000 copies. So technically I have 1,002 ounces of silver, right? Well, that's what the comics does. They come to you like an 8-year-old and say, oh, I've got, look, I've got 2 ounces of physical silver and I've got 1,000 ounces of paper silver. And so I've got 1,002 ounces of physical silver, right? And I'm going to price things that way. And that's the kind of game they play. It's scrambled. This global system is scrambled. So it's really hard, of course, to get a real spot price on silver. It's really hard to get a real valuation on silver or gold because they're doing all this derivatives crap. But that's not the worst of it. All right? You got the derivatives out there that are piling onto everything. And that's probably every commodity for sure. And even some bonds and stuff, have derivatives. But what about all of the cash they're throwing at things, guys? What about all of the dollars they're throwing at everything? The Federal Reserve and the Treasury, they're writing bills and they're printing money and they're spending money and they're money catapulting, money helicoptering, money bombing, everything. Okay? And people are sitting there and they're going, oh man, this is good because I'm getting stimulus, but, what's going to be long-term effects? A lot of people don't care about the long-term effects. All right? It used to be a lot easier. If the dollar was down, that morning, I would look at that and I would say, ooh, looks like gold and silver are going to have a good up day today. I think I'll sit back and not buy anything. But then if the dollar was up really good, I would go, ooh, man, it looks like gold and silver are going to be down today on sale. I'm going to put together some money and see what I can buy. And it used to be that easy. But nowadays, man, it is so scrambled. Like today, the dollar was down. Okay, the dollar was down hard. It was like down to 97 handle. And what a 97 handle means is that the dollar usually floats around 1 full basis point. So on the chart, it looked like 1.00. Okay? Well, no, that's not true. It would be 100.00. Okay? That's how it looks on the chart. 100.00 or 102.5. But 102.50, which is the highest it's ever been, I think, here in the modern era. But normally it's floating around 100. But anytime it gets underneath 100 basis points, people start to get concerned because that shows a sign of weakness. The dollar is supposed to be 100 or better. So now we're down to 97.5, I believe it is, something like that. And so with that happening and the dollar moving further downward, you would think that precious metals would be putting on gains because they're valued in dollars, right? If you're valued in dollars, that means the dollar goes down, takes more of them to buy you, and it makes your price look higher. That goes for tomatoes, that goes for tires, that goes for ink pens, anything. And that's how the dollar works. When it's weaker, it takes more to buy anything. And when it's stronger, it takes fewer to buy something, which is very good if there's a strong dollar because you buy more silver, buy more groceries, buy more gas. And that's pretty much how it's supposed to work. But it doesn't work like that in the markets. The dollar will be down, and then damn near everything else will be down. It makes no sense. The euro will be up. So it's really hard to read the tea leaves a day. You got to be very nimble if you're going to try to do it. All right? But I just, keep in mind that if things are gyrating around a lot and the dollar is down, I need to see how they're going to manipulate things the night before. And you can usually tell in the futures markets with gold and silver, they will try to either hold it still or they will try to push it down or they'll try to keep the gains minimal. And that's what I start reading. And then in the morning, I start reading, checking the markets out and seeing what the euro's doing. The euro starts moving around 4 o'clock in the morning. This sort of thing, and then you can tell if it's going to be, a particular kind of day, if the markets are behaving normally, which some days they are, some days they're not. They are very moody. Very, very moody. All right, so we explained how the dollar is supposed to work with that. We explained, why Bitcoin and bonds and all that stuff is important, all right? We understand now that we don't have free markets. We just do not, and so we have to be very, very flexible and very nimble. We buy silver. We have to actually work with each other because the market, I'm going to tell you something. The market is smarter than any trader out there. And any trader will tell you that the market is smarter because the market is the sum total of all of the investors therein. And, there's sentiment, there is momentum, there is excitement, all these different things that are attached to human emotion that create the market we're in. So the market as a collective knows a lot more than an individual trader. So since we can't figure all that out, okay, we basically rely on each other. You as an individual can't do it, but if we're working together with all the stackers in the community, looking around, trying to find stuff, trying to figure out trends, talking to each other. And how does that look, by the way? It looks like videos and stuff that are out there that are put out by stackers, and you just try and watch some. And watch the senior stackers a lot, man. Like Mike Maloney and Jim Rickards and, Ron Paul and all those guys. But, watch Salivate Metal and, Julius Malpe and some of those other guys too. And then, of course, there's our guys out there, the usual suspects. You know who you are. Watch and listen. I listen to everyone because I learn something every time I listen. And that, as a collective, us as a collective are a lot smarter than whatever these markets are trying to throw at us. So that's, between what I try to glean from the markets and what I glean from the stacking community, that's how I decide whether or not I'm going to buy silver. But here's the truth. Now is a good time to buy silver no matter what. We're in a stage now to where regardless of what the spot price is going to do, it is the retail market that determines what we're going to pay. All right? It's up to the retail market. We got to work with the retail market. So we have to try to beat the retail market by looking around and shopping and finding deals and then pouncing on them if we have the cash. Okay? So let me reposition my fingers here. All right. So it's good to keep in mind that, we're not smarter than markets, but we know we don't have to be afraid of gold or silver. At this point, you don't have to be afraid of gold and silver. And you know who is afraid of gold and silver? Governments and banks. Governments and central banks are terrified of gold and silver. And they're terrified of gold and silver because they realize that that is where the true monetary power is, which is why they try to keep them in the shadows. They try to keep gold and silver in the shadows using the Federal Reserve note. Oh, that's right. I didn't say dollar that time, did I? Because it's not a dollar. The paper thing that has Washington's face on it, that has Federal Reserve note on it, is exactly that, a Federal Reserve note. It is not a dollar. Do you know what a dollar is? According to the Coinage Act of 1792, all right, a dollar is 371.25 grains of pure silver. That is the Coinage Act of February 2nd, 1792 from the United States, all right? It is defined as a dollar, 371.25 grains of pure silver. That is a dollar, not a Federal Reserve note that says 1 on it, okay? In the definition also says this is the weight, nothing more, nothing less. A true dollar is an exact amount of silver by weight. So that's the definition of silver. Definition of a dollar. 371.25 grains of pure silver. Now get ready for this. Did you know that in a troy ounce, there's 480 grains of silver? So not only are you stacking real wealth, but you're stacking real big wealth, like bigger than a dollar. Okay, so when you stack an ounce of silver like this is 480 grains per coin. It's actually more than a dollar that you're stacking. So you're thinking like, I've got 200 ounces in my stack. I've got 200 silver dollars. No, you actually probably have like 300 silver dollars because it is that much in silver weight. Okay, and that's what a dollar is. It is the weight of silver, the grains of silver that make a dollar, not a Federal Reserve note. All right, so you're adding all this power to your stack. You're adding all this power to your stack. Why are governments and central banks afraid of you? Because when the dollar does die, it's going to leave a need, a gap. It's going to leave a desire. People are going to want better money, okay? They're going to want better money, and they're going to look to whatever's going to stabilize the system. Gold and silver is going to do that. Gold and silver is going to stabilize the system no matter what they decide to do next, whether they decide to go to some precious metal-backed crypto system, whether they decide to go to some strategic drawing right, maybe from the International Monetary Fund. It doesn't really matter what they're going to choose. They'll have to start with gold and silver to make it happen. And if they don't have enough, guess who they're going to have to come to get the gold and silver? They have to come to us. And if they have to come to us, that means they're going to have to do more of what we want, and less of what they want means they work for us. They don't want that. They don't want power to be in the hands of the people. They don't want silver for the people because silver is freedom. Ain't that right, Silver Game of Thrones? Silver Game of Thrones says silver is freedom. And it's very, very true because it gives us the financial might to actually control our governments, which we're supposed to be doing, not the other way around. They control us right now because they have the Federal Reserve notes and other currencies to make us do their bidding. It's a pretty sinister thing. I'm not going to turn to revolutionary or anything like that. We're not activists here. We are just, quiet stackers. We like accumulating wealth. That's all there really is to it. It's not a movement. I'm not a movement activist. All right? All right. So we'll figure out when that day is coming, when the dollar is going to die. And when it happens, we're going to see things start to shift in our direction. And we're going to basically decide how to move, decide how much we want to be involved in. You're going to be amazed how much you're going to be able to be involved in. All right. You're going to be amazed how many people's lives you're going to be able to change, because that's the thing too. I was listening to a conversation between Silver Joker and another subscriber, about the challenge that we issued a while back. And it was one of those challenges where it had a tremendous amount of ounces in the challenge to qualify and move the challenge along. And and I chose Silver Joker on purpose because I know he is in big stack mode, and so he would be able to handle it. Even though it was a little ill-timed, he jumped right in there. He took care of it, and then he modified the rules so the challenge can move on, and the challenge can go on, and it'll be up to the person that wants to try to do the challenge to choose to do the challenge, and there's no pressure in that, and actually everybody wins that way. So that works pretty well, and we operate like that. We basically try to get what we can get. All right. And if you're a big stacker, that's great. If you can hardly stack, that's great. If you're a part of our community, trust me, long before there were all these governments and banks and stuff doing things, people were actually helping people. All right. I know that if I'm positioned to help somebody and they're really trying to do their best and they just can't get a grip, they just can't get a leg up, I'm gonna give them a leg up. I'm gonna do that because that is a lot more enjoyable than sitting around like Scrooge McDuck cooling your buns off on a bunch of cold cash like this. No, you want to share it. You want to be able to use it. You want to be able to enjoy it. Together, people are social creatures, which is why this thing they're doing here lately is not working, and we need to use our silver to bring people together. And we're going to be able to do that, man. We're going to have so much power, it's going to blow your brain wide open. It's just, you wait and see. I always bandy about numbers, 600, 650, 1100, 1700, who knows. Hyperinflation will set in and all of a sudden, it's $14 million an ounce. You can buy 6 ounces, 6 months worth of groceries. Yes, I understand that. But it's the stuff in between before we get into the craziness of hyperinflation where we're going to be able to make a lot of difference. And then on the other side of this thing, once hyperinflation is over and they start to restabilize with currencies, we'll be able to make the greatest impact and actually influence in which direction the world moves. I want to move towards future technologies. A lot of you probably want to move towards better education, some better medical care, some better retirement benefits. Who knows? But you're actually going to be in position to be of influence on these policies if you choose. If you don't choose, find yourself a nice property in Tahiti and just hang out, at the ocean's edge and take in the waves and the sun and the sunsets every day. But that's the freedom we're talking about. That's going to happen. And if you're not able to do it, you're going to know somebody that has it, and you can come and enjoy their stuff. Yeah, I said it. That's right. Because that's how Silver 5150 roll. I want to party with everybody that wants to party with me. Like they got some damn sense. But have a good time. All right, you guys can see I'm almost about out of gas because I'm just rambling on. And so anyway, man, when I read the markets these days, basically the markets tell me, buy all the silver you can. Buy. There's never not a good day to buy silver now. Just got to find the deals. You find the deals, you pounce on it. You got the money, you pounce on it. All right? If you don't have it, don't worry about it. It's not your day, but a day will come and you can bounce on the next one that comes along. You can't get them all. I couldn't get on those dimes today. Even though I got plenty of dimes, I don't have any money because I bought the other stuff. So I had to sit back and hope you guys got to take advantage of it. So I don't feel bad about that. As long as the silver's going to the people, that's what I care about. That's it. I've done as much as I can. I want to try to do some more. A lot of you stackers are out there doing a tremendous job stacking. And I even had one of my subscribers today. He used some Ripple, some XRP crypto to those profits before the cryptocurrencies went down to buy silver, which I think is awesome. You wait until silver starts really moving and the momentum chasers are going to want to come after gold and silver with cryptocurrency. And a lot of these websites, they take it. It's going to be something to see, man. It's going to be something to see. But you know what? We welcome them with open arms. They want to come and join us. So that's all cool. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. But just to tell you, yes, I read the markets, but I read the markets more for entertainment now than anything else. Pretty much it's a buy. Silver is a buy, simply because the retail market won't give us any choice. All right, so get as much as you can, stack as much as you can. You're going to be so glad later. When you see spot price is at $90 and premiums are $150, so you have $240 Silver Eagles. Yeah, I just said that. All right, guys, it's Silver 5150 telling you that your stack is not whack and that just 4 ounces of silver to your name puts you 99% ahead of the game. All right, keep stacking, and I'll see you in the morning with the morning update.